seriously. Worst reading month ever. Everyone, it's Emily. Today's video is going to be my July wrap-up. To be completely honest, it's been a very, very shitty reading month. I did finish technically 8 books, but I've been in a really bad slump. Quite a few of these books were books that I had started last month. When I started my slump, they were returned to library. I got them back and then I had to finish them. So it looks, 8 books, it looks like I read a lot, but no, definitely not. Plus, the first 2 books are technically part of my last wrap-up because I did a little bit late, so definitely will be linking that down below because I read one of my favorite books of the year in that, I talked about it in that video. So let's just jump into it, and here's to hoping that the Booktube-A-Thon that's starting this week will fix everything for me because so many bad books, so many horrible books. But hey, these reviews can be fun too, right? Let me start by mentioning the big book of the month because if you don't know, every month I'm trying to pick in this cute little cat mug a big book, a book that is over 500 pages to read as a challenge for the year. And this month I picked up Le Comte de Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. And technically there are 2 books and we had decided that 1 book a month was enough because each of them is like 700 pages. And as you can tell, I'm not done with that. But I am at like 400 and something. Almost lost my bookmark. So I am obviously not done with it, but like I said, I've been really in a slump, but I have been enjoying this book quite a bit. If you have not yet picked this book up, do it. Like, you obviously don't need to read it in French. It's just that I feel like sometimes classic can be quite tedious to read and like everything is going so slow and the language can be hard to understand, and not an issue at all. There's even a few scenes where the author is being a little sassy and I'm like living for it. And for some reason I was scared that my French would be rusty, and no, not an issue at all. So yeah, I am loving this. We'll easily finish this and in my next month TBR I need to put book number 2, right? But it's okay. It's okay. We should be okay. So it's not finished. It shouldn't even be there, but I'm including it because I like that picture. So the first book that I actually finished this month and that I have a physical copy of is this one. Earlier this month I read To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny On, and this is the second book in this trilogy. This is P.S. I Still Love You. This was horrible. I was actually surprised by the first book. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen that video, but like I was expecting, obviously it's a YA contemporary romance where the main character kind of writes love letters to guys that she's, when she's ready to, you know, move on from her love for them. And my review for the first book was basically that this should have been a standalone, but I did enjoy it. Second book felt so pointless, but like so pointless. And like it made me not like the main character anymore. And for some reason I put the book back in the sleeve. Confused for a second. But yeah, I know there's a third book I don't have a physical copy of. I've had put myself on a waiting list when I started reading this one just because I wanted to be able to read the whole trilogy, since it's one of my goals this year to, you know, finish books series more. I'm not sure if I'm gonna, to be honest, I probably should just remove my name because it just made me resent the whole trilogy. The whole thing should have been a standalone. Sometimes one love triangle I can deal with, but like if in every book you have to create another one to make something happen, because I remember I was like over halfway through the book and nothing had happened yet. What was the point of this book? So yeah. I was super excited to read All the Beautiful Lies by Peter Swanson. I read what is it? What the? How did I almost fall from this chair? Wow, woman. The Kind Worth Killing by him, which is his best book, by the way. If you want to only read one or test one, definitely get that one. And last year I read Every Fear by him too, which was also good, but not as good as the other one. So I was super excited to read his newest book, and I had to DNF it. It was just sometimes on Goodreads, if you don't follow me on Goodreads, I definitely recommend you do so because I will sometimes leave kind of sassy reviews and just, you know, it's technically, I write my reviews like they're for me, mostly. So when I get comments, I'm like, oh, actually people don't get my humor. Because at first I only left a review that like, if you're really into like step parents sleeping with their stepchildren, this book is for you. I read so many messed up books, but I guess this is where I draw the line, you know? People were getting it, but like, it's just that there are two relationships like this. And it's just like, sometimes I feel like thrillers are starting to try and shock people so much that they just do it for the shock value, and it just felt ridiculous. And at 50%, things were just starting to happen, and once again, I was so bored, not intrigued, not interested. Like, there was nothing for me to want to continue the book. So after reading his other books, that's kind of why I definitely decided to just not finish it, because I just couldn't deal. Maybe it is worth it to finish it, but the reviews are actually on Goodreads much lower on average than his other books. So again, I personally won't bother finish it. I know a lot of people felt the same, and if you were to only read one book from him, definitely go with The Kind Worth Killing, which actually I have right here, so I might as well show it. Definitely pick up this one. I think this is the UK edition, but like, so good. So many twists. This is why I was pissed with the other book, because this one, like, from the beginning, there are twists all over the place, and you have no idea what the hell is going on, so yeah. I'll put it here to represent the other one. Basically, this month could be summarized as I read a bunch of books I've been waiting for my library, and they decided to just give them all to me, and things didn't go well. Then I read Artificial Condition by Martha Wells. And it's the second book in the Murderbot series, and I loved the first one. Like, I was laughing so hard. Murderbot is like a mix of robot slash not really human, but like human body-ish parts. And Murderbot is incredibly sarcastic, and they're just funny, basically. And the first book, I was surprised, I enjoyed it, so I was super excited to read the second one, and unfortunately it felt so flat. I just could not get into the story. I love the characters still, but I just couldn't get into it. I was just, like, towards the end it improved a bit, but like for so long, they're short books too. It's like 100 something pages? 160 pages. Sorry, I keep looking at that. There's my laptop. But like 160 pages. And like it felt like it took forever. So yeah. Still recommend the first book, and I am still planning on continuing, because I believe the third and fourth book are coming out this year or something. So I will continue because I really love the character, but like the weaknesses in the writing definitely were more visible in the second one, in my opinion. So I think I gave it 3 stars, but it's like a generous 3 stars because I love the character. I also DNF'd another one. I'm telling you, I've DNF'd so many books this month. I tried to read Beauty Queens by Libba Bray. I loved The Diviners, which I didn't expect. I listened to it as an audiobook, although I do have, once again, physical copy of it, and I'm totally planning on continuing this. But after reading something from her, I was like, you know what? Let me try something else. And since I was in a slumpish mood, I decided to go with something that was a little bit more, you know, lightweight, fun. And this book is supposed to be about, not supposed to be, it is about, damn, I'm tired. I haven't filmed in a while. A few different teen contestants to a like beauty pageant, and they're on a plane ride and they crash on an island. So the idea was fun, and I feel like I enjoyed myself for about 1 chapter, and the rest was boring. I understand that at first it was just all the cliches to try and like make you laugh a bit, and then it becomes a bit serious and a bit more like, you know, LGBTQ plus and everything to like have some great messages in there, but it just was not enough to make me want to continue. So once again, I DNF'd it at 50% and I was done with it. So yeah, I don't really recommend it. The only good book I finish in this video that I'm recommending is Trusque Park by Michael Crichton. I had never read the book, and I had not watched the movie in a while, which I'm saying that and I haven't seen it yet, so I need to rewatch it like now. And actually I started it, I didn't have a chance to finish it. So this was so much better than I remember like the movie being. I do feel like there was so much more like scientific, like sci-fi details in the book, which were what I was really into. And yeah, I really enjoyed myself. The only thing is, I don't know what is up with kids in those type of situation. like, you know, post-apocalyptic and like sci-fi thriller-ish, but they annoy me so much. And I'm sure this is actually like how it would actually happen and like it's meant to be, but I always want to just like snap at them. And but they were driving me crazy. Like if I had been in the guy's shoes, I would have just left them. Like if the kid cannot shut up when there's a freaking T-Rex going after them, there's no point of helping them. There's just no point. That guy was a saint for being this patient. So yeah, definitely recommend the book. You will probably get angry at some of the characters like that, but I do think it was totally worth a read. I believe I gave it 4 stars, and yeah, it was, it stood the test of time, although it's not that old, but like at least 20 years, 30 years. So I would definitely recommend Trusque Park if you are into that whole sci-fi dinosaur mood. I do think it's worth the read, even if you have seen the movie. I do think there were quite a few differences, so. And then last but definitely not least, I did read Eragon. And usually I listen to an audiobook in like a week or 2. Like I'll usually listen to it as I'm getting ready or in a shower. If you don't have a shower speaker, you're missing out on life. Like I will link the one I have because this is like the best 15-20 bucks I've ever spent. It's so worth it because you spend what, like 10-15 minutes in the shower every day. You might as well use that time to listen to an audiobook. So like I said, usually it takes me a week or 2 to listen to a full audiobook. This one took me a month and a half. That's how bad it is. So I feel like at this point, it's almost the edgy thing to do to like hate on this book. So I don't want to go too overboard in my review. It's like kicking a sad puppy, you know? I'm just gonna say that definitely has a lot of similarities to Lord of the Rings. There are so many classic tropes of like fantasy, like the poor farm boy that is now orphaned that goes on a crazy adventure and he's like the one, and overnight he becomes incredibly powerful fighter and magician, and he receives help from this super powerful mysterious old man that is powerful magician but stupid as and yeah, just all those classic tropes. And I love dragons, definitely wanted to read about it, and the dragon was okay, but it just, I couldn't get into the book. Like the amount of time the main character's name was mentioned drove me absolutely insane. Like I remember that one time I was in the shower, so I couldn't like turn it off. So I was stuck listening to Eragon. Like I swear on a page it must be like 10 times on one page. I was going cuckoo. My main issue I think were the dialogues, because I swear they were so stupid. Like I swear that super genius magician old person had the most stupid conversation ever with him, like ever. Like it would be like, I'm sure this is pretty much exactly how it's in the book. At one point they're like looking for a place to sleep and it's like, oh, should we stop here to sleep? Huh, we definitely should stop here to sleep. So how about we stop here to sleep then? Then let's go. Let's stop and sleep here. Like, so yeah, I really wanted to love this because it's like a classic fantasy book that a lot of people think about fondly. Like people look back to Harry Potter, but then some people it's Eragon, and I couldn't do it. Yeah, I'm not gonna continue the series. I'm not at all intrigued to know what's gonna happen because I feel like I can kind of guess what's gonna happen. So yeah, I'm sadly really did enjoy myself. So this is the end of the shittiest wrap up I've ever done. I swear usually I will dislike like 1 or 2 books in my wrap up because I mean if you read 10 books a month, you're not gonna love all of them, and I'll still get comments like, oh my god, like you always hate all the books, like why do you keep reading? And I'm like, okay, whatever. But in this case, definitely feel like I'm wondering why I'm still reading. Like out of the 6 book included in this video, 1 I liked, Trusque Park. 1 that was okay, I guess. So like, I'm still included in disappointing ones. So it's like 1 out of 6 that I enjoyed. And the rest I really didn't like or DNF'd. Like, this was a horrible reading, but no wonder I'm in a slump. So we're gonna hope that tomorrow, since the Booktube-A-Thon is starting, things will look up for me because I can't keep going this way, guys. So that's gonna be it for me. Please let me know in the comment section if you have read any of the books that I mentioned. If you have similar opinion, different opinion, feel free to discuss it with me in the comment section, or just, you know, bash them with me. Actually, even let me know your favorite books that you've read this month, because we all know at this point I need some help. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to miss any future videos. I will be putting on the screen the videos that I've done that I recommend you check out, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.